So I got the latest version built of the MT4 script-based trading system. Now there's no EAs in here. There probably is EAs in here. I don't even know. I think I stripped them out because I got so pissed off at them. I get so frustrated as hell. I mean, it's just ridiculous. These EAs, come on. They're not having automated cars in the Indy 500 yet, are they? That better be the day. Right, just let that stuff queue up. So this is uploaded to the Hightail. So I try to clean it up, and somebody asked me about what about structures, and I just thought, well, the first structure here would be inside here. I was able to delete the nonsense where it said examples under scripts. So I built a whole script. Well, not a whole script library, but the very kernel core of what you could build off of. And it's built on three modalities. You have stop entries, which will be your terrible trade, but it's going to be the big winner in the trend or the swing trade mode. Then you have your buy limits, which means, hey, I'm waiting to get picked up at the train station. And then you have your market orders. So put all three styles in there. So I have the main tree here, the scripts, and we come open this and we can see the these three styles of entry. Now, just so you know, the only ones that are safe to drop, which will not ever loop your system or hang it or crash it. I kind of feel like it's crashing even though it's hanging. If it says drops, and this one does not say drops, but this is a drop, and the rest of this has potential to hang the system and have it so these are safe, no hang. Now if you hit this, if you double click, the other thing to consider is that you cannot double click these orders. So they really don't, they're very passive. You have to drop those. And this should say drop maybe. So if you double click that, nothing's going to happen, I don't think. You're really dropping this right by the order that you want to clear off. So I would just change that to drop close order, and then it would come here right after in the D. So you could drop close, or close drop, close drop instead of close ticket. But of course that's all the stuff you got to figure out how do you want to drive this thing. But and also this default template right now, basically you cannot see the orders. You can see the orders, but you cannot see the lines, because in the end, well, I'm running this thing full out. Limits, stops, you name it. I'm just trading the living hell out of this thing. Not doing any market orders though, only because it's just redundant. I'm getting in on these stops, most of these are set to get in like 2 pips above. So when the market's smashing down, I'm locking in buy stops because I don't want to, and they last an hour. Everything in here lasts an hour under the stops category. The market obviously instant, and I think I'm set at 1 hour on the limits here. So you can build 3 hours, 2 hours, but this is the core base. So I'm going to clone this, and then I'll transfer this to another demo, and I'll run it on there. And then you just have to build this, because sometimes the other currency, you can see that you missed the boat on the other currency, so you've got to look for where the dollar is getting creamed, or not creamed. Like, where's the dollar winning, where's the dollar losing? And after the painfully obvious 2 weeks ago I said or something, sell the euro to the yen, the ride could be over. I mean, we've crushed back in now. There was a huge scalp today, painfully obvious scalping. Every time it made a new low, you had a nice 50 pip winner off of just buying at the 100-yard line today. And there was multiple entries here, but you gotta hit the take profits key. You gotta get out. Now you can double click this and it will take off the objects right from this menu. You don't have to go any deeper into the platform. So the way you structure this thing guides the way you're going to trade it, because if you go into the, say, the mode of stop entry, then you could just go into the stop window. So set it up, and right now it's pretty streamlined. If you open up stops, you've only got two choices. You have a buy stop, and I just made this so that the way it reads, now these would crash the program if it couldn't find this entry of buying 2 pips above current, and it's going to throw in a stop here, and it's going to look to make 21. So this is the Fibonacci trade. Buy 2 above, 13 stop to make 21. Now you're going to have to take this +2 and trim that off of your profits. You're getting in with essentially an 11 pip stop. It's a 10 pips. It's a 10 pip stop, for God's sakes. So you're really overpaying, and so it's like once you do the spread, it's like 9 pip stop on that. It says 13, but since you overpaid by 2, right? And so this really isn't 21 pips. It's only 19 because you overpaid. So that's hard-coded. And if the market's quiet in Asia now, you can make an extreme library of trend-traded, trend-style buy stops. And I just put buy stop here, a sell stop, because just no offense to Nazis and no offense to bullshit here. And now the format, right, which have you now, the market, I had the same kind of, this is just very conservative. Risk 10 pips. This can crash the platform or loop it. Sell at the market with a 10 pip stop to make 20 pips. So this stuff, I think I rarely trade that. I mean, if I'm standing in front of that thing and I'm like, oh my God, because in the normal world, you just put in buy limits 5 pips deep, because who wants to... So we're going to buy the ask, or we're going to sell the bid and sell the market. And this time doesn't matter because you're just selling at the market. And it's going to put a stop. You're going to get out. I just set it so you get out on the ask, because you're really going to get out when that gets down. And your stop is should be the ask here, actually. So that's kind of fucked up. But like I said, it's going to run. You're already getting your ass kicked. This should actually be... No, that's right. Yeah, you got to put this above. But no, this should be ask, because they're going to stop you out on ask. So that's right. Very confusing, especially to trade both directions, because they will take you out on the ask since you bought the bids. It's a revolving door. Hopefully the other one's right. But that's. If you're that deep, like the guy said, this is a Kill Stokes says, if you're not willing to spend a cup of coffee, then you're just not serious trader. Come to our war room. I'm like, come to your war room? Oh my God, dude, do I have to bring a toga? So, okay, we're going to try to buy another pullback on this. Let's see if I'm actually trading this. No. So, gonna just... All right, so I got lost there. I just had to fix that. What happened to the fucking script here? Oops. Oh wait. Yeah, jeez. Trying to deal with this structure. That's the problem. See, now trying to get organized. These are all the market orders. Make sure this one's right. I think everything else is right. Okay, 15 minutes has gone by, and it looks like the dollar's running out of gas again. So there was a scalp there. I took this scalp here. Just off that new low wick. That's pretty much the trade there, and that trade's over. Now it looks like we get some serious action. I'm looking for this to plunge down here into my buy limits, and this to go up in my sell limits, or go down into my buy limits. So I'm trading both directions on both of these. But that's set it and forget it stuff. It's certainly fun to trade at the market and all that. So, okay, so this one's right. This is the market order for buy at the market. 10 pips stop to make 20. And you're going to have to pay for the ask at market, and your stop's going in here, and then you have to wait for it to make 20 pips. And this should be blue. I just make it blue for buy. You can take the arrow off too. I mean, certainly it's a bottomless pit of adjustments in the end, right? You buy a guitar, next thing you know, you got 5 preamps stacked on the thing. And so, yeah, I'll compile these guys. That's red. Okay, so the market orders. Now you can just keep renaming it. I'd rename it to, say, 15 pip stop to make 25, and you could have a whole hotkey set. You can come in here, and if you really like all that stuff, you would just say, okay, well, right mouse click, go to hotkey, set hotkey in your keyboard. You would just have a, like here I have delete all objects and close all profits. Now that goes to a hotkey, so I can dump everything I'm in all at once. I mean, if I really wanted to get in this, build a position in 15 minutes or a half hour and realize that, you know what, that the bounce is over, or that's pullback's over. We're in an uptrend, the pullback's over, the counter trend is over, boom, get out. Because, you can just see it coming, right? I mean, after a while, can't you figure, well, how long can they bid it up? How long can they bid it down? And you get a rhythm going. The rhythm method, right? This is how you end up without having too many kids around. And the control O is delete all objects, and everything else I think stripped out all the hotkeys on here. But yeah, it's crazy. I don't think sadly you can't set a template for hotkeys. Maybe you can. So those are the buy market, sell at the market. I know people love to do that, and but they also have the limits. So here what I did was it's just buying below. It's going to get in at 30 pips below with stop 40 pips below, and we're going to get out 10 pips below where we're at right now, and this will last for an hour. So that is hard-coded, could crash the system. Here is the let's zoom on this pup. This is I'm going to buy 5 pips deep for the next hour with a 15 stop. Your 10 pip stop is really about 13 after spread issues, and then you're probably just going to make it where you're at right now. So plus, if your spread's +5, if you pull the trigger on that, it's going to come in like this, with this, and you're just going to, if you stay on the 1 hour, you can be buying. I should have put in a 15. I noticed when it was pulling back, and I was gauging the pullback. So if you're living in the world of 1 hour, say you've got 1 hour to live, and they got a gun to your head, and so you're like, well, you know what? You see it coming down really hard. You're going to build a 30, 40, 50, whatever you can see. I mean, if you're on the guppy, you might have to be running 100 pip deep with a 50 stop. But if you like pressing buttons, which I definitely is the best part about trading, is the clicking part. I think that's unfortunately the exciting part, is clicking. And if you overclick, right, you could lose. Now look at that. Look, I'll pull this puppy back. So I'm trying to get filled. Another 10 pip discount here. So I could either go like this and say, okay, 10 pips. I'll buy 10 pips deep in an hour, 20. Are we really coming down here in an hour? Are you kidding me? So you've got to ask that question of the market. Now here's my sell limit, which I've only built one. I've never been a fan of selling, but because when you build a platform to do so much, if you just had buy at the market, buying a limit, and buying a stop, trust me, you could find the other currency. Where I'm just trading euro on the left and yen on the right. And people talk about the yen. Oh my God, the yen. Yeah, well, it's moving like crazy, right? Killer trades here. This was the trade last week, was to buy new lows in the in a 15 pip box there. Stupid. That was retarded all day long. And here, selling up here. So if I had the other sell limit, it would say sell maybe 20, 30, and you could just walk away from this thing and know in an hour, or you come into this, or you put in sell stops now. So if I was going to, it's not really that situation, I don't think. I don't really like the stop entry. It's like a market order, but you could double click on this right now, and it's going to put in a sell stop that is 2 pips below. I mean, you can name it whatever you want, but right for the moment, it kind of describes what's going on under the hood. Sell stop 2 pips below current with a protection stop 13 pips above, which is, you know, in essence a 10 pip stop with a 1 pip spread, and then you have your 18 profit. Not the best trade in the world, of course. You can just stack up to the end of the planet, and this way it's going down this other structure, this other tree in the platform. You don't have issues of, now if you wanted to button this up and you just said, well, I'm going to go into just stop mode, and like if you're on the 5-minute chart and you're like, well, you know what, let's see, 15-minute chart, you're like, oh man, if they crush this thing down into this ball and I see I'm not in big enough, I'm just going to hit the buy stop key. Like here, say I'm going to buy on limits, and I'm going to say, you know what, look at this setup on the 15. Damn, I'm going to buy, I think the dollar's coming back, so I'm going to stack them in like this. Now this is pretty low risk. 1 hour, it's got to drop, and this is kind of a nice contest, is can it drop 10 pips in an hour with a 10 pip stop? I mean, this is a trolling. People talk about trolling. This is the trolling order. 10 pips deep for an hour. Okay, 5 pips. And as the market's plunging, now it's probably not going to crash if you're just running one of these, but I'm just saying if you stack up like some ungodly array, and now here you can put in you could put in 40 orders on this one, double click. Now this is when you're running on a tablet and you're driving a car, right, and you're drinking. You want to have this because you want to just go double click with your thumb, and you want to get like a, it looks like a guitar pick, but it's a cursor thumb, like a banjo pick, but it's like a stylus, thumb stylus. And when you're driving, you know, you got beer in the left hand, right? So, and hopefully automatic transmission, because if you have to shift, that could be a problem. Or you just have, you know, a big tablet with a big button. I saw a plumber just abuse. He had one of these tough book plat things, you know. He's abusing that. So here you would just have to gauge. Now that's too tight. I don't think that's a good order. So if I don't like that, I think, you know what, that's just too damn tight. I'll just take my closed ticket up here, pluck that off, just pluck that puppy off. Now, if I drop it down here, it's actually going to pluck off this, and this is where your, uh-oh. I'm going to just closed all. Another thing, maybe you should put this on the favorites list, which I didn't. So if you add this to favorites, this is the other way to prevent closing all your pendings. If you spend a lot of work manually placing those, you'd kill yourself. You know, it's close all, right? So if you have that on the favorites list, then you just, you'd have it down some other thing so you couldn't get to it, rename that directory. But here when you go close ticket, after you place all your orders, you could just know that your favorites list is only going to do, oh, I guess I hit close all. So, but you know, it's no harm, no foul, because I put all these orders in really as outlandish. I mean, really, do you think the market's coming? Look at this. Look at this. Think the market's coming down here tonight? Now it could, right? So, yeah, I mean, now I'm not losing any money, but, and if you do that, you don't want to stop these orders. You just close down the whole platform and start over. So this would be the cure. And it's going to, now it's going to crash. See, now you got your hourglass. Now this is about as long as it's going to crash. It's just like that. You probably got about, it seems like forever if you're in a trade. It's probably about a 20 seconds. It's going to crash real hard because I'm closing it down. But I think I'm stopping the close all. Once you double click that, it just starts to run. This is why you want to trade with stops. Everything has a stop. Everything has a take profit. And, okay, so that's, it won't crash like that long if you're crashing a script though. If you're trying to kill a script, you'd be out of that already. Okay, so here it is. If I want to buy on limits here, I'm doing it like this. And then here, it's like, so yeah, deleted my sell on limits there. So this is kind of the hard part is in here. This style trading here is a whole nother situation. Because these are all limits, and if you place them above their sell limits and you place them below their buy limits. And I wrote a bunch of extra ones here. These are bizarre. This is like 4 hours in a 2-pip range. It'll buy 2 pips apart, a 1K. 2 pips apart with a 7 stop to make 14. Now, you may laugh at that ticket. It makes money, right? If it does, if it fits those criteria, how about, so this is literally, if this was 1 pip and this is 2 pip, it's going to buy here and here with a stop way down here. This one's going to buy 3 in a 2 pip range. I kid you not. Now this is going to buy, if this was 20 pips, this is going to buy every 10 pips. This one. And it's going to buy on limits. It lasts for 8 hours. Now, you got to think about these. Could you put a 25 pip stop on and make 45 pips? You're going to buy every 10 pips on that. This is all day long. Now, this is a new script to me. Like, you're going to put a 50 pip stop. You're going to buy over a 20 pip range here. You're going to buy 3 tickets every 10 pips. And it's going to be all day long with a 50 pip stop, which means you have a virtual 30 pip stop. Master stop on all 3 tickets because you could take that much punishment. You're buying here and your stops here. You fill up all those tickets and there's your targets up here. Complete triple or now, I guess it's like baseball, right? You hit a triple, you hit a quad. Now here is 4 tickets, 28 pips apart, so it's going to look like this. This is a geometric, and some of these are logarithmic and geometric. You'll see when you drop them. And this was, and if you put it above, say here's where the market's trading, and you put the same one at the very tip of your cursor, is going to be that first order. You're going to have the inversion on the upside where it gets closer and closer together, which is, to me, it's like a compressed entry. So if you see here the geo, it's let's start buying at the 50. It's going to come in compressed, and here is where you're probably going to get stopped out of everything right around here, and maybe you're going to get in here again I think that one's maybe screwed up. That one's linear, but here's supposed to be geometric. Here you go. Now that's a 30 pip geometric. 5 tickets on that puppy. This is for the big boys. Big boys don't cry here. I would start buying right at, and you could just place it right on there. Killer trade. All day on that one. Okay, looks like we're going up, so I fucked up. In other words, if you were on the 15, you would have gotten filled on this little scalp here for 10 pips. I guess I'm cheap. I want to see 10 pips is kind of like the okay, here we could get filled. So if we put in some scalpish things here for an hour on the grid drop. Now if you have if you realize this is only $1 per ticket, it's not so bad. Here's 50-cent stop. Are you kidding me? Right, for an hour? To the top of this grid list, you're really in the, like I said, the format is, these are all limits. If you place them above, if you started at this ledge and you built a whole bank here, market comes up into that puppy, and depending on how you layer that in, how long these last, you can have big fat icebergs down here last all week long. And as you build up the account, because you're selling up here, you're selling up here, selling up here, buying up here, you're making all that money. When the market finally plunges into like a psychotic, like when the jobs reports come out and stuff, you could see the market come in and violate, it could just plunge into this and pop into that. But in a whole, you know, coming into all different design tickets so that when the market's doing this, it's cashing out. I mean, it's not just going to go plunging down. And of course, you're going to reload. Once they cash you out and you see, oh yeah, I'm going to go on the other way now. And this whole back and forthness, you're counting on. You're counting on, now this looks like it's going to plunge. So probably a little snug on this. And looks like I crashed my favorites list. So that didn't do any good to solve that problem. When I crashed the program, it would not hold on to the favorites list. Here we go. So I think this is a little bit too tight. Like, and I see that the hour's not up, so I'll trim it back to here now. Keeping with the same buy tops become bottoms. But I know that they probably overshoot, and a 15-minute top bottom is not a good top bottom. So this guy sent me this email, and he's like, "Oh, top become bottoms." Yeah, in the 15, but man, you got to be sitting there trying to get like 5 pips, you know. I mean, look at all these top bottoms. You fucking mind that. Now here, look at this top bottom here at the 10-yard line. Now this is a whole. There's a lot of. It's very busy down here, a lot of traffic, but. Look at this stuff. Come on. This is stupid. Does it not come back into this cluster? This is not the ultimate now this morning. This is premium territory. Buy limits here. It's exactly what happened on the daily. With the first time we came down here, I bought like you cannot believe. And when we came up here and where the sellers were supposed to come in, don't forget this is the big breakout. Oh, it's the end of the world, the end of the world. How many end of the worlds did we trade today? I traded most of these actually. I wasn't here for everything because I had to go drive across town. And of course, yesterday was supposedly you don't trade on the holidays. So I'm scalping the hell out of this thing. But yeah, this is the pretty much the ultimate MT4 platform. I don't think there's no EAs in here. Of course, you could probably get rid of this close all. Park this in a different directory, maybe under. Of course, this is a panic button kind of thing. Like I said, you're not gonna lose any money on that. But if you hand placed all those orders, you'd want to shoot somebody. Like if you literally went like this and said buy limit and like set stops and everything, somebody's going to die tonight. And depending on what modus operandus you're in here, you're going to rely on the system here of you're going to try to be organized. Now, this is dangerous to have this here now that I'm looking at it, because now you have to double click that. Or you can drag and drop those. This, you can drag and drop these orders too. But I like double clicking because I like clicking. That's why I'm on the fucking internet. And the clickbait, of course, that's what really trading at the market is in a way. Impulsive clickbait. My tequila buddy was showing me a tour of his. He always says when I'm over there, I got a deep sea freezer down there. And we go down there and we look at all this food, and he confessed to me that he would work at a restaurant for free. It's taken a toll on him. This tequila is nothing to mess with. I'm just saying, it's really taken a toll on him. We think he's changed. His wife said that he's different. That's putting it mildly. Okay, so anyways, he's very entertaining. To watch the guy trade is something else. Not saying that there's nothing wrong with swing trading without stops, but you probably shouldn't drink at the same time. So this is probably a bad idea now I think of it. But I'll upload I'm going to try to tuck this into something called trade management or something. Like, get these off, because if you come up here and you just accidentally double click this, and if you've ever frantically seen an opportunity and you know that you have the available order. So if I just double clicked here now, I'm going to double click the buy 10 pips deep thing. So I know what this comes in. Even if I don't have a pip grid up, I can use my scripts as a indication of like, oh, you know what, that looks like here. I think the dollar's coming back to life. Now I really could use a 15 in there. Okay, so that looks too tight to me. This 5. So I'm going to trim that out without closing all orders. And I think that's the answer. Like I said, I'm going to put that on another tree, because I can already see somebody could stumble across that, wipe out all that stuff they did, and then they're going to sue me. The other time frame, certainly to consider that it's a trap up here, and that was today's big scalp trap was up here. So it could be lights out. I mean, this was the ultimate entry here. This is the bottom inside the top. 20 pip, no brainer scalp today. There was actually a bigger scalp today on that. I mean, this was the big scalp here. See your orders right here? You had 2 cells up there. And let's see, go better color there. So this is your first huge winner today. You're buying on the pullback into this doji in here, so kind of a sloppy 20 pip fill, but that was the trade. Boom, bam, boom. It's over. They've chopped people. They've failed to come up here. People get their second chance. And that's why I think it's ridiculous to have this 2618 shit, because what if the market comes up into a 15 pip window? You seriously can't trade around a 15 pip window? Obviously, we want to buy here. Obviously, we want to buy here for bouncies. Bouncy bounce. Go to the bounce house. It's not that hard. Here's your big top. The big top. They just closed the big top. This is the 50-yard line. This is 10 pips, each little rung. Big fight. Always a battle up at the end of the day. And they're just playing with it here. Now, I do think the dollar is going to, I think this is just going to be a range trader's dream tonight, as it normally is. But at some point, we're going to resolve this puppy. And even if we just take this trade here, where we come back in and go bouncy bounce, high probability, short time frame, no brainer. It looks like it's buy. It looks like a buy here, but the market's notorious for coming down into here first, at least for to come back, loop up to that. So the next thing is the dollar yen. Okay, I like this on the 10 pips deep program. Or you could come up here to the limit grids and look for a scalp orientated. Here's 5 pips stop for 4 hours starting here. So it's going to buy 2K. 2 increments on this account, just 2 things. And so I wrote these this weekend because I thought, well, you know what? 2 by 2 with a 7 pip stop, and I'm going to buy this top. Yeah, but look where that profits. I mean, people talk about making thousands of pips. This trade looks unrealistic. This is a retest to the top. So here's a scalp orientated 1 hour. That's literally going to buy, with the 8 pip stop, a 3K with the 8 pip stop. Like off of that, your exit's on the floor. Let's see what. Don't think people realize. If you buy down here, which seems like a great place to get in, your exit's up here. You're looking to make 16 pips? Are you nuts? Now, I don't think it's going to happen. Now, if you go to here's a 12 pips. This is more realistic. So your exit's here with a 5 pip stop. You can even see your exit here. Your exit's where you're at, practically. Here's a, yeah, you're only looking to make 14 pips. Double your money. It'll be a retest of that. And you could keep stacking these in now. If they're all at different levels. Okay, I'm trying to make 14 pips on this pullback. 1 hour. But it's like bullfighting. Now, this is you're putting the, this is your red sheet. The bull's coming after that. Looks like a great trade here. So I'm like seriously about to get filled on just this one ticket. And like I said in the last demo thing, is that trading more than one currency is certainly more difficult, because look at my buy limit's about to fill. And ideally, to run this thing, the ultimate MT4 script platform is to be very diversified, all these orders to separate. Now, these are duplicated. So you might want to get rid of these. If you see duplication show up, these should all be at different numbers. And this 5 decimal broker stuff is just mind-blowing. If you look at a tick chart, you'll just blow your mind. So as it comes into the order bank, okay, we're down 2 cents. Now, if you don't like what's going on, I would just set it and forget it now. Nothing you do is going to change this outcome. And yeah, so I'm going to let me just do a review breakdown here. So if you come back all the way to the beginning, always come back to here. And this is the other thing, psychological, is that once you build all these different like you have pendings here. You can go to sleep for an hour, or you could go out and get drunk for an hour, come back and know that, you know, if they didn't pull this back 20 pips in an hour, and I don't, some of this stuff lasts for 4 hours. I think it just laid in there. But you got to trust yourself a little bit. Now, if you notate here what it is, if I didn't write grid drop, there's another thing that's that it's really not done, but you could drive it down the road. You know, this isn't like super the ultimate. So, but for the price and the buy at the markets could be listed here. You could also, in the end, do a spreadsheet and see how many times buying at the market was a stupid idea. It was the dumbest thing you could possibly think of doing. And when you're sitting on this screen, you could be saying, I'm in so much margin right now, and you see the market plunging on the 4 hour, and you're like, you know what? They're going to fill up every order that I have, so I'm going to start plucking them off, and you got your finger here on the trigger now. Instead of going to the closed ticket, because it's going to be too hard to get in. Maybe the market is going to go back up. If you take this closed ticket over here, it's going to chop off the first of what you're in now, even though it looks like, you know what, I'm about to get stopped out. Well, you went in with a 15 pip stop. I think this is the right. If you look at the comment and you know how that's constructed, and you see you got about a 15 pip stops here waiting to kind of blow out that. And as you know, that if you do the math here, you know you're going to about to lose $10 or something. Here you go. You can see here that if you've got a comment that says, I'm about to lose, gosh, I guess I didn't keep up on my comments because I know these have wider stops in it. So you're really going to have to go, and this is be the hard part. Now this is where you get the person that just, here we go, pull back. So now down 90 cents on this entry. Now I like the way it's pulling back because I like to scalp this thing. I'm going to buy on my other accounts now as it's plunging. Gosh, I just love to buy this plunge. So I think I just got stopped out of something. So now I like it even more. I'm going to go into the buy limits and just start loading up. And I just double click this like you can't believe. Especially with the demo. I'm totally going to load that up. I wish I had the 15 on there. And then if I really think, wow, this is, if I had a 4-hour script that was going to lay in a whole bank, and you can write these so they do lay in a whole bank. This number 4 in here is got all these other styles in here. Buy at the market. Now you can make this number, this BL30, this deepest order, I think is slightly different than the other guys. This is the only buy limit that has all these different variations here, and I'm not sure these even have the right. This should say bid. This should say bid. These could be any color you want. I got 3 buys at the market here. You can just turn them on. As soon as you delete these forward slashes, it's going to turn that on. And so the other ones are not set like that. These are not, there's just a buy limit and a buy stop. You could create a simple, but that last one, now here we have the same thing. We have elaborate versions of selling. There's no market selling here actually. You'd have to take the sell at the market and copy it in here and create some, but this is set at the wrong time frame, I just noticed too. So this is supposed to be 1 hour. So you put a capital H in there. And don't click that because it's going to put 2 periods in there, and you're screwed. So these should all be set to 1 hour. Okay, so I can already see that. So I'm going to rewrite this again. Of course, that's a problem, but I wanted to get something going. Get something started here, and they're filling me up on this thing. So I want to get on a buy stops now. The other thing to consider is that if you don't think you're in enough margin, there's a Goldilocks factor. I would go to the buy stops and I would run this buy stop, knowing that this is a really terrible trade. This is going to risk 13 pips, which is way down here, to make this. I don't think so. So, especially buying at the market right now is a completely stupid idea. Because the way this works is we got to come back to, you got to load up on as many limits as you possibly can. Because it's the most counterintuitive things you can do that would make you money. Like just saying, I'm going to just keep buying if it goes down. And I got to buy right here in this pocket here. Because you're already in. I'm already in like 10K or something ridiculous here. Pretty much about 10K. And I have to let that play out. But I got a good price. Bought that top on the half hour. And this one you can put the sell limits in. So here's my sell limit that I rewrote, lasts an hour. But what you're asking the market to do is come up and touch that, never go higher than that, and then go down. So if you're at, that's all like a different style, a different mode of entry. It's a 1 hour pending up there. Now, if I'd built the one that says sell 20 in an hour, I'd definitely sell 20 in an hour. Or I could come in here and say, look for a 1 hour script here to make 10 pips. I put a 16 pip grid up here, 5 tickets linear. Here's 2x2 with a 10 pip stop. But you're really selling way the hell up there. Here's a 5 pip stop. Now this is hilarious. A 5 pip stop. Are you kidding? But if you put a cluster up here, and everything is in a little bit of a... Now this is where your harmonics come in, where you put a node up here. So comes up here, doesn't go any higher. Now this one I really thought was pretty cool. This is 11 pip stop. Just because. Here's a 12 pip stop. The 11 pip stop. But look where the take profit is. This will be the new... If the market goes up, this will be the top that becomes a bottom. This will have to be your exit when you sell up here. If you're trying to make 50 pips with a 20 pip stop in 6 hours, it's going to be way up there because, yeah, the market could come back to this. But you here 18 pip stop to make 38 pips, because if you sell at the 100, it's going to come back to the 50, and that would only make sense. If you go to the daily, you can see that you're really going to be selling, like say the news was coming out right now. You'd be selling like this. 25 pip stop starting right there. All the way up. Who cares? Think the market's going to go up 300 pips? It could. Look at this move. That's the script. That's the drop for that. Right? 50 pip stops on that. 50 pip stops to make 150 pips. Are you kidding me? When the news comes out, sure. Here, a 32 pip range. I got a 40 pip range. Those are fantastic. You want to wake up with money in your account. Look at 40 pip range. Here's the 40 pip 5K log rhythmic. No, it's not. That one has to be changed. No, it is. Here we go. See, well, I mean, I don't know if you call it a logarithm, but I do. Kinda. It's the French curve. Here's a 40 pip range. So you're really gonna sell up here, multiple stops. It comes flying back here. You would buy on the plunge, obviously. If you're gonna buy this top, it's gonna look like this for the next 8 hours with a 13 pip stop. Obviously, that's the trade, because if we could come down here, we could bounce to this. We may not make it to. You may not do anything after that. That could be it. So you have to imagine in your mind's eye, can we drop down here in the next 2 hours? And the broker just went offline, but it seems like an unlimited amount of orders we can launch in here. And should you be taking profits right on this and just treating it as a scalp? Because if you look at the 4 hour here, this is just going to keep tanking. We're at the exit for the scalpers right now. You're at the scalpers exit right now. This is the bottom that's becoming a top. So if the broker ever goes back online here, we would think about getting out. Right. We'll take all our profits. This fucking broker just goes offline like it's just ridiculous. This broker sucks for that. Because see, I just want to get out because this is where everybody's getting out. You got so many orders pending in here to just get filled on the next pullback. Look at this scalp here. Right. Now, it's the bottom of the hour, and this is a psycho window. 2 minutes. The bottom of the hour. Look at that. Look at that trade. Not a lot of pips. It looks like this. That is a 5K spread over 4 pips 1 hour. Now that's if you're like scalping, you just made that trade. And you're on the, you could be on the 1 hour and made that trade. Of course, 15, look at that. Now you can put buy stops in. But why? Just buy here. You think it's going up? Come under here. It's a good buy stop place, though. You can see the stops stacking up from all the money management systems. Got buy stops on top of that 15-minute right now. So looking at the clock, looking at the 15 minutes, the most money you'll ever make as a 15 because you can just see it coming. I mean, in a short period of time, like right there, smashing off of this doji. That window right there, you just scalp that. Same thing here. But always buy new lows. Always buy new lows, and look at this new low entry here. Always buy new lows. You bought these new lows, you dumped into the top. You bought new lows, you're getting out right now. You buy new lows again later tonight. We're buying down here now. I'm going to set these things up all day, all night, and I put in here some ridiculous stuff. 8 hours with a 16 pip stop to make 42 pips. Are you kidding me? It covers a 5 pip zone. So if this is 5 pips, it's going to buy the top and bottom box of a 5 pip. How about 6 pips? I literally went through everything in here is pretty much the range of pips is on the left. All the new ones I wrote. 40 pip range, 5 pip range. This is a whole, this is your forward thinking here on all these limits. Then these stops are your, this morning, when the market's plunging in the mornings, whatever it's doing, I'm putting in based on how it's behaving now. I would put no market orders because I would just run these stops. Like if it was plunging, I'd just be putting in buy stops, and I have more than one of these. I just didn't release it in here because I don't want to put in stuff. People are like, what the hell does that mean? So trying to make the name fit what it does, but you want to check under the hood. So this format of the grid drops is the range, How many tickets are placed linear, unless it's noted otherwise, is geos for geometric. And the so if you're in stop mode, say you're just in buy stop mode, I'm just like this morning. If I'm got one currency and I'm watching it and I'm like, you know what, like buy stop, like right here, the sellers are going to come in right there. I would go to buy limit mode now. I'd be like, buying that on pullbacks. If it goes smashing down in and I'm not in big enough, then I'm just going to take that money and run. The very short-lived moves here. I'm almost about to get filled here, but if I think I'm too close, so I got to move that over, because if it's too close to the, and of course if you hit double close ticket, nothing happens because this is a drop. So I would put that maybe in the just a different, something different. This is never a problem. Double click this, or you can drag and drop that. So we missed our entry here. If we think we missed out, we'll just come in underneath. Typically that's the better trade. It's very easy to be impulsive and think you're missing out. Now here, I think this buy limit sucks. It's too close. Always want to click once, have that highlight, come over here, pluck off that, and start thinking about buying some psycho plunge for the next. Now if this is a 4 hour, but yeah, dollar's going to come back. So anyways, that's where I'm at on this puppy, and I'm going to edit this and upload a slightly different tree system. I just have to move some stuff around there. But I'm going to post the current, what you're looking at right now. Of course, the edits, I'm just going to call it version D in the end. I mean, I'm just going to keep going through. When I get to Z, I probably go to AA. And I'll take my buddy with me. But yeah, I go to AA, and then see, I don't know what's the next thing you do. A1. No, I didn't just do version after. Just go to that. They've called a version. I mean, if it got clean enough where it was clean enough that you could call it a version. I don't know how that software stuff goes. I was looking at something that had some version number. I just thought, no, I think I'd have to take a class on version numbers. That might not work out so good. Okay, so that's the current version. Yeah, I might edit it, but you'll be able to find it. I think I just put it under, but this is so clean because you don't have, like here, it's money in the bank, as Mark Douglas would say. Not trading. Of course, the market, look at this beautiful, so here comes the money management bots, see? But you want to get in down here before you're triggered here. You don't want to get triggered like one of these protesters. You want to be the one that's they're protesting over. All right, there you go. That's as far as I got on this thing. Drive at your own risk.